Hi mate, are you ready for some non-typical black metal? Are you ready for something that could be quite hipsterish, or at least something that you're not used to? If you say yay, or if you say yippee, this is your cup of tea. This is Seance from Australia. This one is a album called The Colour of Magick. Now, what kind of magic we're talking about? I have no slightest idea, but let me tell you, in so many ways, this is not your typical black metal album. This is different. This is something for people who are just bored with the kind of Nordic wave of second wave black metal, the Nordic style in general, or people who are just forgetting that black metal could be something else than your typical Marduk copy or your melodic black metal or, you know, Dark Thronian Bergemistic vibes. This is something that doesn't even have songs named except for 1 to 8. And that's all you got to read. There are no lyrics, there are no real song titles except for these markings right here. Very, very mystical, very, very different. Let's take a look how the band looks on Metal Archives. Or should we say solo project? Should we just call it bedroom black metal? No, to be honest, I don't know. But this is the guy behind the band, it seems. I'm just guessing because it's added here. Maybe this is the Australian version of Ishan. Some similarities like the haircut maybe a little bit, the beard, the glasses, maybe even the clothing. I don't know. Anyway, this was originally as supposed to be like independent release, the second album by the band. But this one is actually Signal Rex release, a label that is focused more on the rawer side of black metal. Now, when I was listening to this the first time and seeing that this was labeled as raw black metal, as the genre, I was like, what the hell? Because this doesn't really sound raw in the terms of like primitive black metal, like, you know, Ilion, early Graveland, bands like Hot or Veles, or, you know, not exactly the sound of being raw, ripping and brutal and violent and raw, inhuman. It's more like, yeah, the opposite of raw is, you know, when we're talking about meat, for example, it's like, well done. Or something in that direction anyway. You get the idea. Sometimes we say raw versus mature, depending once again which kind of words you're using. This word clicks. Yes, this is kind of a raw, where it's supposed to be like, you know, well cooked or something like that. Because, let me put it this way. Some of these melodies and riffs here are just interesting. Some of them are like more like, what the fuck, hipster level kind of stuff. And for some people that is very, very, something like very much liked, even worshipped, or saying like, yeah man, this is genius, this is great, this is something new. It's not like you're copycatting anybody who is already out there well established and all that stuff. And for the rest of people, they're like, yawning, crap, shitty, whatever. Now, I'm not gonna be this hateful Joe who is just gonna say shit because I don't understand it, or because I don't really like it. I'm just gonna say it's more like a work in progress. First of all, the guitar sound is plain, weak, and lame, and powerless. It's almost to a level of annoying when it comes to being a black metal sound, or extreme metal sound. It kind of lacks this distorted power where it's supposed to be bang. It's more like bang, if you get my meaning. Now, go listen to it and you'll figure it out. Now, if only this was the problem, but the songs were good, I wouldn't complaining here at all. But the songs, man, it's more like experimental kind of a black metal, like figuring out some random ideas and okay, let's make it an album and move on. And that's where comes this raw wordplay all along. Not only if that wasn't the only problem with the guitar sound, but it's almost like these vocals are some distant, almost like whispering versions of shrieky, raspy, commanding shouts or screams. It's more like the vocals someplace, I'm hearing them, but they're mostly covered with drums and bass and guitars. Now, mentioning bass, that is actually good here because that's something more audible and it doesn't sound annoying and powerless. But you don't really make these kind of albums just with decent drums and bass. Especially when this is very, very guitar-driven album. Now, I'm gonna say it once again, to repeat myself, even if it annoys or bothers you. If you're looking for something different in your black metal territory or something, The Colour of Magick is definitely something that you should be checking out. Maybe you will like it because it's different. It's like, wow, nobody is doing this, or actually very few bands, projects are doing stuff like that. But if you're leaning more into tradition, be it the first wave, be it the second wave, or even most of the so-called third wave, modern black metal, the black metal of 2020s or so, maybe this is not your cup of tea. For me, it's kind of a mediocre-ish release with too many minor faults to make it enjoyable. It's not like the guitar sound would fix it. It's not like the proper execution of the vocals would fix it, but they would make this better. The main problem, in my opinion, is the lack of good songs, the lack of good riffs. Here and there, some shiny objects don't make it like a big pile of gold. And that's the major problem with me having with this particular album. Obviously, you decide for yourself, so clickety-click those links. They should be out by the time this review is out anyway. June 21st it says here. So I hope you can you will be able to listen to this one at least so that you can figure out whether or not I'm absolutely right or wrong with here. But once again, you decide what you like. I cannot tell you. I can only give you warnings. I can only give you tips or a little bit of indication what to expect. You figure out the rest. Don't be a hater. Be a lover. Give this album a chance. Don't. It's up to you. Thanks for watching the review. Take care and bye-bye.